Okay, this is another stitch up. We finalized doing two separate sections of this video basically, and we left off, I don't remember exactly, I think we left off at coloring the main character, sorry, the dad, not the main character. So we did the dad, we colored it. I think the basic coloring was done. This is where we left off, and then right now, as you can see, the little bit of shading is already done. What happened is I was using Dropbox Capture to capture this whole thing, and I've switched to another tool called Loom right now because the Dropbox Capture was terrible. I recorded a whole video of me doing obviously the shading, the coloring to both of the characters, creating all of the layers, but I am afraid this would have to be redone again. I can do a little bit of what the process was like. I can recap that a little bit, but the recording is gone. I've completely not going to be using Dropbox Capture, and anybody who wants to rely on that tool, don't. It's terrible. So that's what happened. Now what we're going to do is, obviously, now where we left off was, as I said, we colored the dad a little bit, and we didn't have coloring done for the main character, which is the child essentially, but I can recap regarding how we came to a little bit of the shading that I did, and obviously adding the colors. So we can do that. Now that I'm using Loom, I guess I'm pretty damn confident this is going to capture well, and I'm going to be able to upload this. So yeah, that's the third stitch basically in the video, the gap between the two takes I've done. That's the third one right now. Technically it's the fourth one if I'm gonna count the Dropbox Capture debacle. Anyways, so what happened here is we colored this, of course, using the same layer, and I've added a little bit of shading, of course. So one second. Okay, alright, so I forgot to connect the Wacom tablet apparently. Okay, we'll pick up the color here, and then I'm just trying to clean this up as much as I can here. So for example, we need to cover this, and we're keeping obviously the other aspects, the outlines and everything same as is. It can be rough. It doesn't need to be picture perfect here, but yeah. So as you can see probably here that I've added a little bit of shading here, right? And you can also do that depending upon where the light is coming from. So you need to decide where obviously the light is coming from in your canvas, and then I didn't overdo this. It's still a little light, obviously. That's how I'm doing in this situation, and same goes out for the pants, the shorts. So yeah, that's it. And if I pick this color up, we'll leave the little bit of white in the background, but just to make it look like, you know, it's more organic and natural here. So I'll just keep it like that. But obviously keep in mind when we do the background, because we're not adding white here, we're just leaving a little bit of space for to add the gaps, obviously. So it'll the green will come through, obviously, if we're adding grass or whatever the background color is. It's going to come through the main color in the front. So in order to remedy that, sometimes I add another layer and add a little bit of white, and I want to keep this natural look and feel here. So this white, to retain that, I'll add another layer in the background. I usually do that sometimes. So I'll show you how I would do this once we start doing the background. Right, so this is how we've done essentially the shading here. Oops. And we can clean this up a little bit again. So since we have the seam layer, we can clean this up a little bit here. And this, yeah, that's good enough. And then we can see some rough patches over here, the colors going through. So I can use, let me put my phone on silent, sorry. You can just remove these here easily because it's on a different layer. You know, to avoid the outlines, it's on a different layer, so that is fine. That's good enough. I mean, we don't need to go into too much detail here, but definitely if you want to add more shading, some lines over here, that is useful. Yeah, that's, you know, just adding the shading. For the ball, I don't know exactly how to kind of go with this. I don't have a clear idea here, but of course we look at some references, and if we can find, we can also use AI. I want to avoid that, but just in general, for example, in reference, what we have over here is we can use the same kind of patches. So let's keep the layer in this section. We'll create another layer, and let's group it as well and call it football. And then so we do need the outline, of course, and then the stroke that will go around the edge of the ball, and then the color, we can call it color or texture, whatever you want to call it. Now I want to try this out. Not sure it's gonna work, but yeah, where's my toolbox? There you go. Let's put it over here. Okay, so what is wrong? Why am I not being able to use my shortcut suddenly? Okay, alright. Bit of a hiccup, I guess. So let's do, that's the brush. Let's pick, not pitch black, I guess. I mean, let's keep it like that. I'm not able to see the outline, just making sure it's on the right level. Yeah, can't see it. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to like draw the outline properly here. Of course, I need to see how it looks, of course. So let's, of course, I need it to be much bigger. See if it makes sense here, right? So, of course, there has to be a better way, I suppose, considering that I already have this ellipses here. Let's do this, lock it up, and see how that looks like. So the idea is to be around this ellipses, the circle that we have drawn over here, and the outline just goes around it as much as possible. It is going to still look a little rough, but yeah, keep doing that a little bit more. Keep it in line with this, I guess. I've never done like I don't remember doing this like exact shapes, and definitely there are like other ways of doing this. For example, you can go to Illustrator or use a brush tool here even to mimic the same sort of texture with the brush, but I don't want to do that. I want to keep it natural. Yeah, and yeah, if that didn't pan out, I think this works out pretty well. Yeah, I think this looks good. Nice. I'll get rid of the ellipses here, and this layer is called outline, but yeah. Football, and texture, what color? Sawi. Alright, so yeah, I'm just looking at good references, I guess, that can work for this. So I like that. We'll trace it out, texture. That'll be much easier than to do the guesswork here, trying to figure out what angle these patches, black and white patches, would work well. It's better to have a reference. Okay, rename the layers again, sorry. lock this. Sorry. Let's turn down the opacity and then lock this up. Okay. Okay. You can draw the patches a little bit, the outlines for it. Doesn't have to be like accurate. We're just showcasing that this, as long as it mimics anything like a football, that's good, I think, for us. Not aiming for extra details here. Just making sure we don't independently draw the dark patches only. No, that's fine, that's fine. Yeah, and then we can do the dark patch over here. Keeping it natural again, so a little bit of rough strokes are enough. Color this up, looks pretty neat. Just wondering how the outlines, the other outlines that we've done, look good or not. Hopefully they do. Let's get rid of the appearance. They look alright, I guess. We can add a little bit more details. Yeah. Yep, that's good. You can resize the ball as much as we want. We'll add the background again. I don't know if, let's rename it to patches, and the background, right? Background's fine. And the shadows will add a little bit of depth to it when we're doing the background. We'll add the depth instantly there. Let's see. I think resizing needs to be done here. Let's just be. Yeah, that's a decent size, I guess. Okay, now let's do the background. We've done the football, and the outline is all in this one layer. Apparently that doesn't mean anything. I guess it doesn't matter. Alright, and okay, these are the references we have. Let's call them what they are. References. Do the background. So I can see a ridge of trees over here, and then bushes, and you can use those for in a similar way. As far as colors are concerned, let's for example see you already have this tone. I'll darken this a little bit, of course, here, but making sure that again it doesn't overpower what is happening in the front, right? So let's see how that looks. Let me sample this as well, here as well, sorry. Keep it at the bottom. Yeah. As I said, I mean, wherever there is a gap between these colors, because we're doing it with brush alone, patches are going to show up. So for those situations, we'll create extra bit of layers, and then we'll cover those up again by using brush alone. We're not using any pen tool or shapes to cover those areas, keeping it natural. So wherever there's a little bit of a gap, we'll use white to do that. And yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of other ways of doing it, but I like doing this naturally to keep that natural look and feel alive. And yeah, let's see how that looks. Doesn't look bad. We could have gone lighter, I guess. I suppose that would have been fine, but yeah, that's not that bad actually. I'm avoiding the props over there, because even if I do color on top of them, that's not such a big deal. But since we're using brush all across brush strokes, it might collude with the colors I'm using on the front, so it's better not to do that. I guess I'm gonna avoid it as much as I can, but a little bit of color into it, that's fine, but I'm gonna avoid it as much as I can again, just to make sure it doesn't mix up with the colors I'm going to be using with these objects. Let's do that. And a nice little different shade that we can add here to make this a little bit different, right? As you can see, I'm doing it again very roughly and keeping a little bit of gap between the color and the background to retain that organic watercolor or crayon or whatever kind of feel here. But mainly it's just to, you know, make it look like this is being done on paper in a way, mimic that kind of look and feel as I mentioned before. Not sure I want to go dark with this one, but let's try that out first. And these are for the trees. Yeah, I think I'm just trying to judge whether this tone for the tree ridge is good enough, or should we change it to a different color? Not sure. We'll put a little bit less pressure on the brush because I want to keep it a little dimmed down over here because it's further in the back. So something like that. Similarly here. Again, we're trying to make sure that it doesn't overpower the characters, so it should be dulled out, dimmed down, mimicking the focus of a camera, for example, where your main focus would be in here. But definitely the trees are a little bit darker than I imagine. Kind of works, I suppose. Not that big of an issue. So yeah, now I think we need to focus on the props. We can finish this off with that. I think prop needs another layer, I suppose. For the palette, I remember we did have a reference, right? So I think the yellow is this yellow is the closest one. Let's do it. I think one of them can be another fruit. Let's see if we can add grapes. Those can be bread pieces, right? So yeah, the same color kind of works for it. We can add a little bit of a texture here. Bread. And remember, this is going to be pretty small, so I'm gonna make sure that it's just ample detail, not too much. See. The blanket is going to be a bit of a pickle, but hopefully we'll figure that out as well. Okay. I think we're gonna go a bit darker. Let's pick the color from the reference here. Like this, same as the skin color that we've been using, but let's see how that looks. And for places where we can get rid of the outlines, we can definitely do that. But I think This kind of works here. Yep. Yeah, I think this is fine. So similarly to what we did with the kids t-shirt, I suppose rough lines would do, and in fact we'll deliberately make them a little wavier, but obviously considering the perspective, the gaps are going to be much larger as they come closer towards us. Again, let's see how that looks like, and then we can figure that out. I think let's add another layer in the background too. Yeah, this is for the color only. And there you go. We'll remove that in the end, obviously the outlines that we have. Now that we know where we need to remove them, we can tweak that up. For example, over here, definitely don't need that. Much better, I suppose. Same goes out for these lines over here, depending upon wherever they are. It's a little bit tricky. Might have to redraw some of the lines over here. Why I cannot see that? Oh god. That's strange. I don't know why. There's a white texture here, but anyways. I guess we're done here. with the backgrounds and everything, I think it looks pretty neat. What we can add, I don't usually add shadows here at this point. We'd add a little bit more details before we do that, but just to wrap this up, and then I'll show you the final version of this. But just to give you a little bit of an idea, so I mean, shadows can work, and it's important to remember that where the light is coming from, so the shadows might drag a little bit over here, similarly to, again, sorry, here, and yeah, something along those lines. And of course we'll add more detail here, and as I mentioned, bit of work is still to be done. As far as the reference is concerned, we did a pretty, I think, nice job to kind of convey the same thing. I think while we're at it with the shadows, probably can use that over here as well. Alright, so I'll share the very final version, refined version, once I do that offline, and I'll share it with you in the same, obviously, in the video once I'm done. So yeah, I hope you like this whole, I think it's a live exercise I've done pretty much, and was very scrappy again, but the whole idea is to show you uncut version of how things happen in the background, how I basically create these kind of illustrations. This is the series that I'm working on. The style is very similar. I'll still do a little bit of tweaking over here in the final version. When you see it, it'll be a little bit different, of course, but essentially this is the process. I learn as I go, because this is a different style. I have not done it before, and I'm probably going to be doing this two more books to get the hang of it in the end of the day. But I have a pretty good handle on this style at this point, and there's not much of, there's no rocket science to it. Of course, you're selecting one brush, using it across the board for outlines and colors. The only idea is to keep it organic whenever I'm using colors, filling the gaps and doing whatever I can to patch things up in the background and the foreground and the main characters. Using it consistently in the same fashion, where I'm just using the strokes and brushes like you would do on paper. So that's the idea, basically. That's the process. Anyways, take care guys, and hope to see you next time in the next video. I'm working on some of the other stuff regarding typography and other sorts of like basic graphic design work as well. This is like my illustration series I'm going to keep on hopefully doing, and yeah, catch you guys next time hopefully, and you can give your feedback in the comments, what you like, what you don't like, and what you might want to see. If you have any questions, let me know as well. All right, take care, bye.